Na początku było Słowo, na początku był Bóg, który jest miłością. A więc Jezus tutaj się rodzi, to znaczy miłość się rodzi. I to jest nowy porządek. I chcemy, żeby ta miłość rodziła się w naszym sercu. Na czym polega miłość? Miłość polega na tym, że się nie żyje dla siebie. Tak jak Jezus żyje dla Ojca, żyje dla ludzkości, tak samo miłość, która się tutaj urodziła, niech będzie naszym udziałem, abyśmy też nie żyli dla siebie. Wyznajmy naszą wiarę. Wierzę w jednego Boga,
Ojca Wszechmogącego, Stworzyciela nieba i ziemi, wszystkich rzeczy widzialnych i niewidzialnych, i jednego Pana Jezusa Chrystusa, Syna Bożego jednorodzonego, który z Ojca jest zrodzony przed wszystkimi wiekami, Bóg z Boga, światłość ze światłości, Bóg prawdziwy z Boga prawdziwego, zrodzony, a nie stworzony, współistotny Ojcu, a przez Niego wszystko się stało. On to dla nas ludzi i dla naszego zbawienia wstąpił z nieba i za sprawą Ducha Świętego przyjął ciało z Maryi Dziewicy i stał się człowiekiem, ukrzyżowany również za nas pod Poncjuszem Piłatem, został umęczony i pogrzebany i zmartwychwstał trzeciego dnia, jak oznajmia Pismo, i wstąpił do nieba, siedzi po prawicy Ojca i powtórnie przyjdzie w chwale sądzić żywych i umarłych, a królestwu Jego nie będzie końca. Wierzę w Ducha Świętego, Pana i Ożywiciela, który od Ojca i Syna pochodzi, który z Ojcem i Synem wspólnie odbiera uwielbienie i chwałę, który mówił przez proroków. Wierzę w jeden święty, powszechny i apostolski Kościół, wyznaję chrzest na oczyszczenie.
رئيس الممر هذا الكرادور هذا للاتين يصبح في حق اللاتين مش يعني ما بدي لك عندنا.
So we're in the Basilica of the Nativity. You can see everything's completely empty. Normally at Christmas time the lines would be back there at the entry door where the little very low doorway is to enter the Basilica. And the lines would fill up all these colonnade and go down where we came out right now. And it would be impossible to come out in a normal situation. And that direction we'd come out on the other side. And so we have, in this very sober Christmas, it's very under-decorated, we have this experience of the suffering of humanity in times of conflict. We're very aware of that in this time because of all of the cruelty experienced recently here in this land, and with so much suffering for so many people. And so we feel the need for salvation all the more. This basilica goes back to the time of Constantine and Helena in its lower part, and there are also mosaics down underneath these covers. There are beautiful decorations here on the walls of the Gospel infancy stories and also of the teachings about the nature of Christ, true God and true man, from the different councils represented here in the Basilica. The Basilica was enlarged in the time of Emperor Theodosius. Extra naves were added, and it still exists. It's the oldest church in the Holy Land, because when the Persians came in 614 to destroy all the churches. They left this one because it had the wise men, the Magi, dressed in Persian gear. That's how they were depicted, and so they felt that it had something to do with them. So this is the explanation that's given for why this church was not destroyed in 614 at the end of the Byzantine period like all the other churches were. And so this is the oldest church here in the Holy Land that still exists. These mosaics were restored in the last few years by Italian specialists, and before, when I arrived here 17 years ago, it was hard to recognize anything on them, and they've been marvelously restored. We just need a little bit more light now to appreciate all the color that's there. Here are two of our volunteers from Magdala who have come for Mass here, and they're going to have Mass here now in the grotto of the Nativity, here, which you could also enter from over here. That's my sister Celine, and she's back as well. So I'm going to take you out to the church of St. Catherine, which is where the Catholic liturgies are held, and the midnight Mass was held last night with a very in-depth homily by our Patriarch Pizzaballa. And let me see how we're doing with time. I have two options here. Yeah, I think I would do a little bit outside first and then come back in here and take you there, because maybe we can join a moment of the Mass in the grotto and at least capture a little song. Presumably they will be able to sing. Sometimes it's restricted for the status quo, but maybe today on the feast of Christmas it will be a little different. Here you can see these tangerines. Let me take you outside to see the creche. Hello there.
The angel.
¿Cómo
Merry
estáis?
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
you're
I'm doing a video.
good.
Okay.
Do you have a group?
No.
No. St. George.
Yes.
Big Saint.
He's a very common depiction here in the Bethlehem region, St. George. That's another story for another day. And here we're looking up towards Jerusalem. There's actually a monastery in view here that you can see. Let me see if I can get the screen to stretch here. Well, it's not going to stretch for me. I just want to take you to see the creche that's here in the square. It's a very unique creche that reflects the harsh times the people are living in at the moment. And here in the Manger Square, there's a mosque, a minaret that dominates, and also a church tower a little bit further back behind that pine tree there. The place is basically empty. Here you would have thousands of people from all over the world milling around on Christmas Day, standing together, singing carols. And all of this makes us consider the need we have for a Savior, the need we have for salvation. Maybe we celebrate Christmas with a certain naivete every year, but we need a Savior for humanity. Sometimes we have times of opulence and indulgence and enjoy ourselves very much. But Kivak, I talked to these people earlier. One of them is Iranian. The BBC commentary for Iranian BBC. And here we have this very unique Christmas scene. Here we have barbed wire, razor wire, and broken concrete as the environment for the birth of the child, wrapped in swaddling clothes. Maybe even remembering the children who have lost their lives in the conflicts of this land. A man who doesn't seem to have fingers. Humanity is capable of this. We have been capable of this for millennia. We just think of the very first story written into the chapter 4 of Genesis by those very inspired writers depicting Cain and Abel relationship. And they weren't able to live together in peace. And so humanity is maimed by this.
Merry Christmas, brother. How are you?
Happy Christmas to you. I'm doing a video for
God
live
bless
for
you. Where are you from?
Buzzing. I'm from Ireland.
Kana satato.
Ohana Warfad.
Hello.
Hey, you know Irish.
Where are you from?
أنا من إيرلاند.
من وين؟
إيرلاند.
يو فلسطين. أي بيتلحم.
بيتلحم. So when we started the video, we were down in the grotto of the Nativity. And in the grotto of the Nativity there was a mass going on, and it was in Polish language. Many sisters were there and some lay people. Again, it was very low number of people there. The Franciscan brother John, told me that they had really the same number of masses as every year, but without much participation of people, because all of the different religious communities in Jerusalem and the Holy Land usually try to come here to celebrate a mass in one of the slots that are available, also over at Shepherd's Field and the Church of the Nativity, the Church of the Milk Grotto. And so there are many options, and they're usually crowded and back to back. And here it was much easier to have the opportunity to celebrate. Look at the way the stones are worn by all the pilgrims over the centuries. I'm going to touch this for you now, because that's what you would do. You would touch it to make sure your head got down low enough in order not to hit your head off the rock. And they say this is a door of humility. There are many more things to say about it, because God lowered himself to enter into human society and then have to run from Herod. Let me just check how we're doing time-wise. And yeah, we're good. So here we're going to go in this direction into, here's my sister setting again. Say again?
It's 10 to this.
No, I'm not going to celebrate. I'm going back to Jerusalem now.
Okay.
I'm still filming here. This is St. Jerome, who did the famous translation of the Bible here. That was the Western biblical translation for about, actually 1500 years for the Catholic Church, and until the Reformation happened, also for all of Christians in Europe and in the world. St. Catherine was an amazing martyr and virgin from Egypt, and she's remembered here because of her great love for Christ. And here, this is St. Catherine's Church, and here was the midnight mass last night. It's televised from here, and we're waiting for the priest to get started. I'll just stay here a little in the background so you can participate at the beginning of the mass. Again, it's very quiet. Normally this would be filled with people for Christmas. I'm not sure if I can share this with you over here because of the lighting, but there's the tree of Jesse. says, in this city of David, the Savior was born for us, Christ the Lord. And down at the bottom it has Abraham. And then the whole tree, Jacob, Isaac, Jacob, and then all the different tribes. And then we have the story of Boaz for Ruth and Obed and Jesse, and then David and Solomon. And if you want to find David, you won't find him among all these people. You'll find him out with the sheep, and then the prophet Samuel.
We start the mass.
Okay.
You are the last mass, please.
Okay.
No photos.
Okay. So maybe we can. Are you going to be singing down there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll wait to catch that and then I leave.
From New Zealand.
Señor,